A New Jersey school district has banned a high school football coach from kneeling or bowing his head while his team prays before a game, even if the players initiate the prayer. The Supreme Court will decide whether or not to review this case as early as Monday. But should the final call be left to individual teams? Fair and balanced debate now. Rob Boston, Americans United for Separation of Church and State, and Mike Johnson is with the Alliance Defense Fund. And let's just talk about this whole issue. For example, Rob, what's the problem with this? The team wants to break into a prayer, the coach can't bow his head and join?
Well, there's a little bit more to it than that. This coach had been leading prayers and finding chaplains and intimately involved in the prayer lives of these students for 23 years. He only said he would start bowing his head and taking a knee after the school officials told him to stop. And to a lot of people, it certainly looked like he was still praying with these students. And when some students complained, his response to that was, well, you can go wait in the bathroom.
Right. And of course, too many kids were graduating and becoming productive citizens, so they had to put a stop to that. Mike Johnson, how do you feel about this? Are you astonished it's come to this?
I am, Brian. Rob's group is on a search and destroy mission for all things religious. And what they're trying to do is foster this sort of atmosphere of hostility towards religion that the Constitution does not require and that the founders never intended. I mean, they're using a twisted view of the First Amendment to really intimidate schools and foster this kind of anti-religious bias. Clearly, it is not unconstitutional for a coach to merely bow his head while his students are leading a prayer. That's a passive show of respect. It's a gesture of respect, and the Supreme Court has always acknowledged that that's an important part of who we are as Americans.
And there's a little bit of a history here. Supreme Court ruled in 1962 that you can't have you cannot pray before school, and they have since ruled along that genre you can't recite a school prayer in school. In '63, the Supreme Court struck down state laws requiring Bible readings in school. And in '92, the Supreme Court ruled that schools couldn't have clergy members give prayer at graduations. And the Supreme Court said in 2000 that prayers at school football games violated the First Amendment. But in particular, when you talk about what's going on, Rob, you have a situation where kids can still be kids and do something radical like let's get together and pray we win or don't get hurt. You have a problem with that?
Well, this school district has clear policies stating that students have the right to pray on their own. It's the involvement of school officials, teachers, coaches, principals, administrators that is clearly unconstitutional. And think about it for a minute. If this coach had been leading students in prayers of Scientology or Islam or Wicca, we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. He would have been told a long time ago to stop. Parents have the right to make the decision about their children's religious lives, not some school official, coach, or teacher.
Rob Johnson and Rob Boston and Mike Johnson, we'll have to stop you there. We'll see what happens on Monday. We'll have you back.